breaking down how I recorded Mac Demarco's song Ode to Viceroy using only a Tascam 244. That's no DAW, no plugins, just tape. There have been a ton of videos on YouTube breaking down how to sound like Mac Demarco using Ableton, Pro Tools, Logic, whatever you use, but I haven't found too many showing how he actually does it, which is on a cassette recorder. The goal of this video isn't to sound exactly like Mac, but to understand how his recording process shapes his sound. Most importantly, how you can apply it to your own music. Now, Mac's a master of DIY recording. He's been known to use affordable, sometimes outdated gear to make really warm sounding recordings. That's part of his character, usually on multi-track cassette recorders or more sophisticated reel-to-reel tape machines. For this project, I used the Tascam 244 to recreate that process from start to finish. Before we hit record, let's break down the instruments that we hear in Ode to Viceroy. So for this song, we have 7 instruments: rhythm guitar, lead guitar, bass, drums, which I'm going to use 2 mics on, and then lead vocals and background vocals. Similar to the last video I did on Ariel Pink, we are going to be recording this song using 4 passes, and that'll make a little bit more sense in a second. But basically each row here represents track 1, track 2, track 3, track 4, and as we ping pong tracks down, we're going to move from one pass to the next. So the first thing I'm going to do is record a click track to track 4. I'm then going to record the rhythm guitar first and then the lead guitar along to that click track. Now, before we move on to pass 2, we're going to mix the rhythm and lead guitar tracks together and combine them onto track 3. Now on pass 2, we're still going to have the click track on track 4. On track 3, we have the rhythm and lead guitar bounced into a single mono track. And on tracks 1 and 2, I'm going to be recording drums with 2 separate microphones, and that's going to be bounced into a mono track that we're going to overwrite on track 4. So since the drums are done, we obviously don't need the click track. Now on pass 3, we overwrote our click track with the mono drum bounce. We still have the rhythm and lead guitar on track 3, and we're going to go ahead and record bass on track 1. After we record the bass, we're going to ping pong that along with the drums onto track 2. On our final pass, we already have the drums and bass mixed down together on track 2. We still have the rhythm and lead guitar on track 3. I'm going to go ahead and record my main vocals on track 1 and my background vocals on track 4. Starting with the guitars, I'm going to be tracking the rhythm guitar part with my Fender Jazzmaster and the lead guitar with my Stratocaster. Instead of going direct like I did for my Ariel Pink video, we're going to be using my Roland Jazz Chorus amp because it has really good reverb and chorus. That's really a signature part of Mac's sound. Now I'm going to be miking that with an SM57, just like I'm holding in my hand. I'm going to run that through an interface and then through an LA2A style compressor just to kind of smooth out the sound before it hits tape. I'm going to do the exact same thing for the lead guitar part, but it's going to be on a Fender Stratocaster, same signal. Let's take a listen to how the guitars came out. The tape added just the right amount of saturation and glue. I'm actually really happy with how these guitars turned out. Again, not a whole lot of processing. The character of the tape really gets it to the finish line. For bass, I'm using a similar signal chain. I'm not going to be using an amp, but I am going to be going through my preamp and then the LA2A into the tape machine. Now for drums, I initially wanted to use 3 microphones, one near the snare, one as an overhead, and one on the kick. But given the 4 tracks that I had, I found it kind of tough to make it work with 3 mics. So instead I opted for 2. I had the SM57 close to the snare, and then the Warm Audio WA19, which I recently picked up. It's known as the Ringo mic. Had that kind of a little bit over the kick drum. for the vocals, I did these with a large diaphragm condenser, and for the reverb effects, I actually used the Alesis MIDI-Verb 2, which is an old modulation unit from the early 90s, I think. They're kind of seen as crappy, but I've kind of seen a resurgence in the past couple years. I think I picked this one off of Reverb for like $100. But gonna be using some of the space effects for that. Now let's talk about some of the takeaways before we listen to the final product. The first one is, I really think miking amps beats going direct. I know it's a lot more of a hassle to do it, especially with how many good amp emulators we have, but capturing the character of the room really added a lot. I think out of all the instruments I tracked, the guitars here were my favorite. I was just really amazed at how close I got it to sound. Second takeaway was the drums. Depending on what type of music you're making, you really don't need to have a ton of mics, especially if it's this style of music. I know we listen to these, Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin drums that are in full stereo fields, but less is more sometimes, and I think especially for this genre of music, really got away with 2 mics. Third big takeaway is having a good signal chain. I really think running everything through the preamp and the compressor really helped the meters on the 244. Really always take the time to check your levels, because if you have good in, it's a lot easier to get good out. Next takeaway is just tape workflow in general. I probably could have knocked this song out in Ableton a lot quicker. I could have made it perfect, but I really do enjoy the tape workflow. There were parts I messed up in, fills I messed up, parts on the guitar I messed up, but you know what? That's part of the magic. That's part of the authenticity of making music on tape, and it really helps you push forward and finish songs. Mac's magic isn't fancy gear. In fact, he's been known to make incredible music with really cheap gear. The real beauty in his craft is his creativity and restraint. It's making magic with what you have, less second guessing and more music. If you'd like to see the finished product of me covering Ode to Viceroy, check out this video right here. Thanks for watching, hope you subscribe, and if there's a song you'd like to see me do, leave a comment below. See y'all later.